In the last few years, a new technology has stormed into our lives. You might have heard of it. Some think it's going to take over the world. Some think it's a little overblown. I tend to think that it's just another tool that we need to mindfully consider how we want to use it to improve our lives, to help us live more fully human lives. For me, artificial intelligence isn't here to do work for me. It's here to help me do my work better, to live my life more fully. It's like being in a room around a conference table with a team of really smart experts that are all there to help me realize my goals and dreams for my life. And sure, it's not perfect, and no, it's not the answer to all of or even most of my problems, but it can be helpful. So today, I want to show you how I use AI to stop reacting to the world and to start navigating it with intention instead. Most people treat AI like a vending machine. They put in a prompt, they get a result, and they move on. We've been trained on Google, so this makes sense, but this technology has something much more to offer us. One way that I've been using it is to treat it like a coach or even like a brainstorming team. Whenever I start a project like this video, I don't just ask AI to write me a script. I ask it to interrogate me first. I use a strategy I've been calling the 10-question interview. I describe the intent for my project or my idea in as much detail as possible, and then I tell the artificial intelligence to ask me at least 10 questions to help me more thoroughly think through my idea or my project. Sometimes the questions are irrelevant, but even an irrelevant question provides friction. When the machine asks, "Do you mean X?" I can firmly say, "No, I mean Y." Even in that, I've gained more clarity about what I'm working toward. It's like what I imagine working in a comedy writer's room is like. Even the bad ideas can end up being the fuel for the one great one. And unlike with a human, if there's a stupid question, I can just ignore it. Sometimes the AI asks me questions that I had not even thought to consider. It helps me ensure that my mindset is more well-rounded and that whatever I'm working on is more thoughtfully considered on my end. If I feel like there's even more to consider after answering the original questions it gave me, I ask it to go at me one more time and ask some more. But for me, artificial intelligence is not just about productivity and brainstorming. I'm also using it for the deep work of the self. For instance, last fall, I was wanting to work through a personal dilemma that I was having using something called internal family systems, or IFS. It's a therapeutic framework that looks at our psyche as a collection of parts. I love IFS and wanted to take some extended time working with some of the parts of me that had not historically gotten a lot of attention from me. So I described my situation to AI and asked it to generate some deep IFS-informed journal prompts for me. For several weeks, I did one prompt per day and found it to be a deeply healing experience. I didn't ask AI to fix me, because it can't. I asked it to help me build the scaffolding so that I could go on the journey of healing for myself. I then took those prompts, I did the internal work, and I never went back to the AI for that purpose. The AI just empowered my capacity to support myself without needing to buy something like an IFS journal. It is important to note that I'm a trained therapist and I've spent years in therapy myself. AI is not a replacement for therapy. I was able to do this because I took what I already knew and tweaked it to support myself. It could be similarly used to create a series of journal prompts to help you think through a major life decision or consider other viewpoints on something you feel stuck on. I always recommend that this is a supplement to therapy and talking things over with the ones that you trust. But it can prepare you to more thoroughly reflect and connect with yourself so that those conversations with your supportive humans are even more fruitful. Another way that I've loved using artificial intelligence is with travel planning. Now, if you use AI for this, you're probably going to get top 10 list of tourist traps. But If you use it to navigate via your values, your vision for your trip, what kind of pacing or what kind of theme you want to focus on, you will get something else entirely. For my recent trip to New York in December, I didn't just ask it for things to do. I gave AI the logistics of my trip, including exact times, dates, and locations that had already been set in stone. I let it know that I've spent a lot of time in New York City and wasn't interested in tourist attractions, but wanted to have a more local Christmas experience. One of the biggest surprises was that it led me to a Christmas celebration at a historic church in Harlem on Christmas Day. A local gospel choir far away from the Rockefeller tree, which I also did just for the vibes. And I was able to experience a unique, deeply human experience that I felt like was a gem I would have never found on a standard travel blog. It also helped me to strategize which restaurants and coffee shops to go to based on my existing itinerary and a long list of options that had been suggested by friends. Overall, it ended up being one of my favorite trips to New York City, and a large part of that was thanks to the logistical support that AI provided before and throughout my trip to a city that can be very overwhelming at times. For a lot of us, our allergy to artificial intelligence isn't to the technology itself, it's to the fear of the loss of the human element. But there is a way to use AI to spend less time with our tech and more time in our actual lives. If you want to see some of the prompts that I've used, let me know down in the comments. Spring is coming up, which is a great time to start a new project or pursue an idea you've been sitting on for a while. Consider using AI to do a 10-question interview today, not to get a quick answer, but to feel the friction of your own thoughts and really think things through. Because if we're going to live an abundant life, we have to be the ones in the driver's seat. Next time, I'm going to talk about the clarity I found from asking one of the hardest questions I've ever asked myself. What do I actually want? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you then.